Hello and welcome back to Minecraft. I'm going to be showing you my first 4 stages of the Rube Goldberg machine. And first, we're going to start with stage 1, and that is this redstone clock here. Exactly like the last one in the previous video, but instead of activating a piston, it will activate this dispenser. And what this does is it shoots out of this hole here, it shoots an arrow, and it'll shoot into that button. And so that's considered my first stage. And then the second stage is what happens when this button is pressed. Well, when it's pressed, we have another dispenser here, and it's going to, instead of shoot an arrow, it's just going to dispense 1 cobblestone, which will land right here, and that is where stage 3 comes. So once the cobblestone drops, it now activates this pressure plate, and this is another dispenser. It will drop an egg, which once dispensed will spawn a zombie, and what the zombie will do, a unique mechanic in Minecraft, is that zombies follow villagers, which is this big-nosed looking guy right here. So once the zombie spawns, the zombie will walk towards the villager, and it'll be stopped by this fence post because it can't get past it. And since it's stopped there, it will actually be stepping on this pressure plate. And so that is stage 3. So those are the first 3 stages. They go by pretty quickly. And now stage 4, which is a lot more complicated. So once this pressure plate is stepped on, it'll activate stage 4. But in order to explain what stage 4 is, I need to break it down into its different components, which I believe there are 7. So the first of all, I should mention this is a cannon. And what it does is it launches projectiles out this way. So the cannon itself is comprised of 7 different circuits. And I'm going to start with circuit number 1 here. I'm going to go circuit by circuit, that way it doesn't get too overwhelming. This first circuit is just like before. It's another clock, another redstone clock. The only difference is there's a change in elevation, and the pulse is a lot faster than before. And what this circuit does is it introduces the projectile into the loading zone of the cannon. So once this switch is active, or this repeater is activated, it will send a pulse to this piston, which pushes this stone block upwards, and that will activate this redstone, which will then have this dispenser dispense the projectile. And so that is circuit 1. So circuit 1, just in summary, will load the cannon. Now circuit 2. Circuit 2 is just another clock. As you can see the pulse coming around here, going up and over, down through here. It's just another clock. It's just a lot bigger, has a change in elevation, a couple more repeaters. But what you'll notice about this one is that it has a much slower pulse to it. And that is because I've set the repeaters to different timings. So when the pulse goes through the repeater, it will go through much slower than a repeater that is set to its start right there. So that there is circuit 2. What this does is it makes the cannon automatic. So instead of just shooting once, this cannon will repeatedly shoot until it is out of ammo. And as you can see, there's 18 ammo in this one right now. So if I were to activate the cannon, it would shoot 18 times. Now let's move on to circuit 3. Circuit 3 is what connects stage 3 to stage 4. It is when the zombie steps on the pressure plate, it will activate the cannon, which is connected to circuits 4, 5, 6, and 7. So circuits 4 through 7 are actually identical, because this huge cannon is actually comprised of 4 separate smaller ones. And what each one does is it connects circuit 3 to each of the individual cannons. And what these do is load the cannon with what you would call gunpowder, although in actuality the explosive that we use is TNT. So, in summary, what that does, zombie steps on pressure plate, activates every cannon, which then dispenses its gunpowder into the loading zone, I guess you could say, of the cannon, which, when it explodes, will fire the projectile this way. And so that is a basic summary of what this cannon is and the mechanics behind it. So now I'm just going to make sure I loaded the cannon, and then we will go ahead and fire it. So there's 18 in that one, 10 in that one. I guess we could put a couple more in this one. So now there's 18. Let's put 18 in this one as well. And then finally, we'll put 8 more in this one. Oh, that was only 6. So, now each and every one of the cannons is loaded, its projectile at least, so now I'm just going to make sure that each one has enough gunpowder, because if it doesn't, and the projectile stays here, the projectile itself is another piece of TNT, so that will just blow up my cannon. Which actually brings me to a question that you probably have right now. Well, if your projectile is TNT and it's going to blow up your cannon, how is the TNT inside here not going to do the exact same thing? Because as you can see, our gunpowder is also TNT. Well, another unique mechanic in Minecraft is that when TNT is in a body of water and it blows up, it does not actually damage anything around it. And so you will see that when I fire my cannon. And that is why that works. So now I've explained all 4 stages. So I'm going to send the pulse, the initial pulse, into the system, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, the dispensers are loading the gunpowder, and the gunpowder is coming right here where the projectile is, and the projectile launches this way. Now, the cannons have run out of ammo, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. So, now the cannon is off, and that is what happens in the first 4 stages. When I actually do the full Rube Goldberg machine, I will not have to destroy that pressure plate. Instead, what's going to happen is the cannon itself is just going to run out of gunpowder. Right now I have it overloaded, that way I don't accidentally blow up my cannon. And that should conclude the tutorial for the first 4 stages. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for letting me do this. It's actually been a lot of fun to create. Even though it did take a while to make the cannon, it has honestly been worth it. I really like it.